Good afternoon, dear students of Kazakh University of Technology and Business. My name is Guanishbek Gulim Kotbekovna. I am the lecturer of the discipline The Legal System of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The topic that we will discuss today is the fundamentals of environmental law and land law. The purpose of the lecture to reveal the subject and method of environmental law, the main sources of environmental law, ownership of natural objects. Lecture questions. Subject and method of environmental law, sources of environmental law of the Republic of Kazakhstan, ownership of natural objects in the Republic of Kazakhstan, land law. So let's speak about environmental law. Environmental law, or environmental and natural resources law, is a collective term describing the network of treaties, statutes, regulations, and common and customary laws addressing the effects of human activity on the natural environment. By the end of the 20th century, environmental law had been established as a component of the legal landscape in all developed nations of the world, many developing ones, and the larger project of international law. Here are some regulatory subjects: air quality, water quality, waste management. Chemical safety, water resources, mineral resources, forest resources, wildlife and plants, fish and game. Global and regional environmental issues are increasingly the subject of international law. Debates over environmental concerns implicate core principles of international law and have been the subject of numerous international agreements and declarations. Multilateral environmental agreements sometimes create an international organization, institution, or body responsible for implementing the agreement. Major examples are the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora and the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The International Union for Conservation of Nature is an international organization working in the field of nature conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. It was established in 1948 in the past, and it has been called the International Union for Protection of Nature and the World Conservation Union. IUCN's mission is to influence, encourage, and assist societies throughout the world to conserve nature and to ensure that any use of natural resources is equitable and ecologically sustainable. It has a membership of over 1,200 governmental and non-governmental organizations. IUCN has observer and consultative status at the United Nations. Here is the list of the 10 most polluted countries in the world: Kuwait, Nigeria, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, India, Pakistan, and Mongolia. Here is the top 10 cleanest countries. On the first place is Switzerland, then Luxembourg, Australia, Singapore, Czech Republic, Germany, Spain, Austria, Sweden, and Norway. So we all need to understand that environmental law is the most important branch of the law of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The subject of this law is a set of legal norms governing public relations in the sphere of interaction between society and nature. Ecology is taken as a basis. The object of legal relations is nature as a whole, as a complex of objects and resources characterized by close ties that determine the interdependence of objects. Okay, let's continue. The sources of the environmental law of the Republic of Kazakhstan can only be such regulatory legal acts that contain environmental legal norms and requirements or have a purely environmental nature, conservation, orientation, and a character. One of the sources of environmental law, first of all, is the Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan, which is dated by August 30, 1995. Articles 6, 31, and 38 have an ecological and legal character. They, for the first time, improved and put into effect a new ecological nature protection concept, the essence of which is that the state aims at protecting the environment favorable for human life and health. That concealment by officials of facts and circumstances that threaten the life and health of people entails responsibility in accordance with the law. An ecological legal norm containing an ecological imperative, prohibitions, obligations, permits, and encouragements in the field of interaction between society and nature is designed to ensure the implementation of laws and other regulations and should take a leading place in the structure of environmental law. So here are some main factors affecting the content of environmental law in modern conditions. Ecological situation, the legislative activity of the relevant state bodies aimed at improving the efficiency and quality of regulations of environmental protection, and the need to improve methods of environmental protection, including organizational and managerial, cultural, educational, and legal. Environmental legislation in the Republic of Kazakhstan consists of more than 10 acts and other bylaws. The current framework in this area includes the Constitution, civil, budget, tax, criminal codes, the Code on Administrative Offenses, and laws related to environmental protection, use and management of natural resources, environmental, forestry, water, land codes, laws on specially protected natural areas, on the protection, reproduction, and use of the animal world. The Environmental Code regulates relations in the field of protection, restoration, and conservation of the environment, and the use and reproduction of natural resources in the implementation of economic and other activities related to the use of natural resources and impact on the environment within the territory of our country. The Forest Code regulates public relations on the ownership, use, disposal of the forest fund, and also establishes the legal framework for the protection, reproduction, improvement of the ecological and resource potential of the forest fund and its rational use. So now let's speak about the Land Code, which establishes state ownership of land used for defense purposes, protected areas, forests, and water resources. The lands of protected areas cannot be withdrawn from existing protected areas for other purposes. The Water Code stimulates the use of water resources in such a way that the economic interests of the population are aligned with the interests of nature. Environmental violation. The thing that you need to remember and to memorize is that the violation of the environmental legislation in our country entails liability in accordance with the laws of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The object of land use rights are land plots that are in state ownership and provided for use by individuals and legal entities. Subjects of land use rights are persons who own state-owned land plots or rights to them and derive useful properties of land or benefits from their use. Land use rights arise on the basis of acts of state bodies, civil transactions, other grounds provided for by the legislation of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Here is the land tax, and it was adopted by special law on December 17, 1991. Here's the questions that you will prepare as a homework. The first question, what is ecology right? The second question, name the stages of development of environmental legislation. And the third, what is the ownership of natural objects? Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your participation. See you on the next week. Goodbye. Wish you good luck. Have a nice weekend.